Good morning, everybody. Trace here. We are at our NPAG FBO at El Paso, Texas. And this is our Carenado Pilatus PC-12. And we are going to fly it down to Guatemala. Why are we going to do that? We're going to do that because NPAG management have ordered us to do so. We don't know exactly why, but there's the typical Pilatus crew, 6 people. They're all flight qualified. There'll be 2 of them on the flight deck and 4 back in the cabin, of course, as usual. And we're going down to Guatemala. And from there, since it's October and winter's coming, we might just go to South America. I'm not sure. But anyway, it is a Flightline flight. The flight has been started. The airplane is gassed up. The people are on board. So let's us get on board and get started. And you'll have to bear with me. It's been a few months since I've flown this thing. Let's see how much I can remember. Bing. Yeah, I remember that. Stuff on, generators, battery. Let's just turn everything on. Can't hurt. And we'll turn the lights on. And as I've said before, I do it by just hitting the L key, turning all the lights on. And at this point, the only lights I don't want on are the landing light and the taxi light. I don't want them on yet, so I turn them off. And to verify that all the other running lights are on and working, yeah, they are. The strobes blink a little strangely. It took me a second to see that they were on. Okay. All right. Now, this airplane does not have all the highly sophisticated, complicated FMC Proline 21 Navigraph crap that you find on, like, the Premier. This just has 2 Garmin 530s. And you know what? That's fine with me. Whoops, let's get them adjusted here. Looks like we had an unusual stop on the last flight, which is why they're not, see, they're little size, they're back to default. They're back to the way they were when time began or something. Anyway, now we got them fixed. And we're going to, going from memory here. Scroll up. Mike, Golf, Quebec, Zulu, Quetzalcoatl. That's it. And it's about 1,400 miles, 1302. Okay, I believe we can do that. Check that we have full fuel. We do. Let's just go out and have a look at the fuel and payload menu. Which will show, number 1, that we have full fuel. 98.5%. That'll do. And that we have the number of people on board. I think we do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 6. And we have 777 pounds of camping gear. We're going to be going down in the mountains and stuff. Let's put more camping gear on board. With 6 people, let's put 1,100 pounds. That's tents, food, fire lighting stuff, snake barriers, all that kind of stuff. Now, and this is a pretty big, comfortable airplane. People can pretty well sleep on board. If you're in a primitive airport, and where we're going probably is going to be a primitive airport. It has a pretty nice cabin. Let's pop this table out, which I couldn't do earlier. Where's the thing for the table? Couldn't get it to go last time either. It should pop out. Come on. Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. Sometimes these things sort of fix themselves. This one, there it goes. Oh, and how does it work? Right there. All right, how can you learn that? So it must be right here. Okay, let's try something else. Go to the other side of the cabin. If that doesn't work, we're just going to move on. That's strange. I know I've had it popped out. That is unusual. I don't know why I can't make that work. All right, well, I'm not going to worry about it. You folks will have to drink your coffee holding it in your hand. That is weird. You know, it does it on that side. Are the blinders coming down? They should be too. Yep. They come down. They go back up. Strange things happen in the world of Flight Simulator. I know damn well it works. Well, it doesn't work right now, does it? It should work. Okay. Got our destination in. We've got full fuel. People are all on board. I think we're about ready to close her up and start her up. Let's see if the doors will close. I'm going to make a confession. I started this flight earlier this morning, and I climbed out to altitude, and it was a failure because I had forgotten to start the flight line flight. So I had to start over again. But I gave myself a little bit of a refresher course because I haven't flown this airplane in over 2 months, or almost 2 months. So, okay. She's closed up. She's ready to start up. Fuel valves. Oh no, it's a turboprop, so we don't do that. We wind it up and introduce fuel. Well, let's start up the Avidyne. Get it up to size. This is like a frou-frou. Real world pilots really like their Avidynes. Baron Pilot talks about his a lot, or he's talked about it a few times. It's a really good weather radar system. In Flight Simulator, you know, I'm sorry, but that's just not that big of a deal. It's pretty. There, see, it's painting the weather. I guess we got some precip out there. Okay. No problem. All right, let's wind her up. And as I learned this morning, I reminded myself, starter is right there. So I want to come down. I want to see a good NG rise. As my NG rise 11.4, that'll do. Get the I key, which advances. fuel levers. We didn't have to go to all the way. That's about right. Okay. All right. Now let's try setting our altitude now. Had a little problem with it earlier because it's not undependable. It's very dependable, but it's finicky the way it works. Scroll up 10. Scroll up 10. Scroll up 5. Scroll up 5. Okay, that's fine there. I don't know. I think it's one of these altitude capture systems where you just go up until you hit your designated altitude and then stop it there. We'll see what happens. Okay, we're ready to taxi. Taxi in. Okay. Scroll up 20. Scroll up 20. Scroll up 10. Scroll up 2. That's about there. So we're in nav mode. When we flip the GPS, the autopilot on, we're going to want to go to GPS mode. Okay. Mouse joystick. I think I have progressive taxi in. No. Progressive taxi. So just turn them off. Roll your arrows. Sometimes you have to actually start moving before they show up. It says turn off progressive taxi. No, it doesn't. Okay, now they're on. They're still not showing up. You needed to say turn. Oh, there we go. You needed to say turn off progressive taxi, which means it is on. And if that doesn't make sense to you, well, don't feel lonely, because it doesn't make sense to me either. But that's the way they do it. I guess you could say it makes sense, sort of. All right, here we go. Carenados, there's a delay. See, I just pushed the F3 key a little bit to get it a little bit off from flight idle. And there's a delay of a few seconds. Otherwise, if you sit on and lean on the F3 key, then you got all that power in, and you got to back it down. You know, it's not really a big deal one way or the other. Especially when I feel like I'm a little faster anyway. A little more power in. few days ago, the TBM left St. Pete Clearwater and went to Providenciales in the bottom of the Bahamas. Then it went to Princess Juliana, and now it's at Grantley Adams in Barbados. So it's like they're both headed south. You know, they're probably going to be. I'm envisioning them kind of playing around South America. But with winter coming, we don't want to be spending too much time up north unless there's a specific mission to do so. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll go to Barrow, Alaska in January, but no such plan right now. Falcon 1 was in Anchorage a couple of days ago. That's the last northerly flying I've done. It really doesn't seem to matter that much. Let's face it, it's Flight Simulator. You know, if I had the latest Active Sky or Orbix or Active Sky Weather or Orbix Scenery package, or I don't know, that kind of stuff, it might make a difference, but I'm just an old blue-collar Flight Simulator guy. I just use the standard stuff mostly. Okay. Whoops. Why is my course pointer not pointing at 26? Maybe I'm on GPS. Where's the nav button? Nope, I'm on nav. Okay, I gotta take a minute and just figure this out, because if I go to GPS, that's totally screwed up. Okay, that's the GPS setting. Well, I guess it's because I just put it that way. I thought I had it on 2.6. Scroll down 20. Scroll down 20. All right, scroll down 20. Scroll down 20. Scroll down 20. Scroll down 20. There you go. Okay, I thought I did that. It's not a big deal, it's just you know, it's like, why wasn't it that way? It should have been. Okay. Kick in a notch of flaps. And as with all Carenado airplanes, you can't hear me doing that, but take my word for it, I did it. Let's joystick back in. Cutter lined up, pretty close. Okay, let's go, full power. See if she'll causes rate. Gear up. Get off the mouse joystick. Autopilot on. Climb on. Let's go to GPS mode. GPS nav. Okay, without clicking the out button here, we're climbing out fairly nicely. Are we turning on course? Looks that way. Yes, we are. Whoa, we need a little more. We're almost at a stall. I just clicked out in to stop the climb. See the VSI is down below 1,000 now. Get the flaps off, which is both good and bad. Okay. Now, this says the altitude, the target altitude. It says arm. So I'm going to try to manipulate it just using. See, why is it not? It's in a default climb mode. So if I start clicking the up button, yes, it is climbing. That's what I was trying to achieve earlier. So now I can manipulate the climb just with this up down button. And since you guys haven't watched me going back and forth with the VS here, you don't realize it's a pain in the ass to do that. So this is much better. This is a much more civilized climb. We've already got our final altitude in place. We're a little bit above the white arc in our airspeed. That's about what I want. 160 knots, that'll do. Climbing at 1,500 a minute, that also will do. Let's go to 2x. This is much better than earlier. I've been saying for a long time that when an airplane has not flown for an extended period of time, like over a month, you know, it always starts out badly the first time. Cool for my men. Over 2,000 a minute, that might be a bit much. Make sure that flaps are up. The F5 key, they are. As long as we're above the white arc, we're okay airspeed wise. She's climbing at 2,000 a minute plus. Now it's starting to decay a little bit. Let's lower the nose a little down to about 1,800 feet a minute. I'm just clicking the down button. See there, it's going down. That's about what? Well, that's more like 1,500. Look it back up its head. There we go. Oh, geez. Well, we'll take it. Now I want to see something else in the cabin. Now that we've done something, I'll be damned. Just another one of these weird flight simulator anomalies. Whoops, lower the nose. 14,000 feet a minute. Yeah, boy, see the airspeed's now just starting to come back a little. We're over 14. Oh, speaking of over 14,000 feet, time to pressurize. Scroll up 10. Scroll up 10. Showing 9,700 feet. That'll do. I'll be getting a red light after not too long. How is the man? The board is green. Might have a little red light about oxygen supply in not too long. We get up over 25,000. Probably when we get up over, excuse me, over 20,000. But now we got pressure, so we're good. I hope. 16.8. Did I go to 2x? Yes, I did. Okay. And how long is this flight going to be? 1,500 miles. 6 hours. Well, it won't be that long. If it was 200 knots, it would be. Holy shit. And that's what we have 16x for. It'll pan out to less than that. When we get to altitude and start settling down, wind is how? 225 out of 220. That's slightly behind us. I'm not going to interfere with that. It's slightly helping us. There's 240, so the wind's coming from just a little bit behind us. At, what am I looking at, 15 knots? Not even 20 knots, right? 16 knots. Yeah, I can live with that. Take a look outside. Looking good. It's a pretty airplane. I like it. I had the AFG. I still have it, I guess. The old AFG Pilatus 12 from early FSX days. And I flew the hell out of it. I flew it for years. And I've still got it. And it's a nice airplane. It just doesn't have the fancy instrumentation as much as this one does. And it doesn't have the very attractive cabin that this one has. But it, you know, for an early FSX airplane, it was great. You know, like the premier aircraft design Falcon 7X, the pad Falcon 7X. You know, I loved it, and it was a much more reliable and better flying airplane than the Wilco, but it wasn't nearly as pretty. You know, it was just basic FSX stuff. And back then, we thought it was great. And I still, you know, I'm still fine with it. I still have mine. I have all my original airplanes. Why would I get rid of them? The default Mooney Bravo, love that airplane. Mine presently is sitting at my FBO at Reno, Nevada. The default King Air 350, mine is sitting in Reno, Nevada also, just by coincidence. But I love it. You know, it has occurred to me, Carenado's got a King Air 350. It's occurred to me to get that. I've looked at it. It's got the Proline 21 system, which I do not consider a plus. I already have the Carenado King Air 200, which is a very nice airplane. It's got avionics similar to this one. It doesn't have a Proline, it doesn't have a Grumman 1000, but it's got a really nice rear cabin. It's very well appointed. You know, it's a very attractive airplane, and it flies really well. Okay, 23.3, we're getting up there. This airplane is not the rocket that the TBM is. It's like a limousine. It's very civilized, it's very well appointed, it's quiet, but it's not fast, and it doesn't go terribly high. let's see, we're at 23.9, coming on 24, and it's working pretty hard. You know, I mean, you're not going to find this airplane at 40,000 feet. Of course, you're not going to find the TVM at 40,000 either. But this thing would be struggling at 30. I think it would go up there, but not happily. And I'm not going to mess with it today. 25.5 is, you know, that'll be fine. There's one to go. Rate 24.9, 25,000. Board's still green. Let's check the weather since we have it. There's a lot of convective. Oh no, wait. Oh, what's it doing? Oh, it was catching the previous paint from when I had it full size before. Now it's painting a whole different picture. Let's see if it'll come back down. We're at our altitude. Doesn't seem to be painting any more storms in this area. Alright, we got other things to look at. We're at altitude. Whoops, no. Set the altimeter. That's close. It's coming up. And oh, and now it's there. It's not buzzing. Usually buzzes when it gets to the altitude. Why not? Why not this time? I don't know. Okay. Condition lever is good. Okay, let's back power down a little to well, I meter this by the fuel flow. I want a fuel flow in the low 300s of pounds per hour. There it is right there, 315, that's about right. Now, and I want an airspeed in the low 200 knot range. Low to middle 200 knot range, depending on the wind. The wind is slightly favorable. 245 knots, that'll do. That'll get us there, and now that's got the ETE down to 502. So we'll go to 16x for a little while, and then we'll go down to 8x. We're not going to go to nothing for a few minutes, so we'll just make sure everything is settled down and everybody's happy. It's a nice looking airplane. Of course, when did you ever see me, go to this thing and say, boy, what an ugly piece of shit that is? They're all nice looking, and I love them all. This is a particularly nice one. You got to admit, it's very attractive. I'm very fond of it, and I'm getting better at it too. I haven't flown this one in about 2 months, but earlier during the summer I was flying it a lot, and I think I'll get back to that now. I think she's headed for South America, unless something else comes up. Okay, I believe we can go to 16x. 16x, a 5-hour trip at 16x will be just slightly over 15 minutes of real time. So we'll do part of it at 16x, and then we'll go back down to 8x. You know, I've talked about this before. There are purists, especially among bush pilot type people. The FSE guys are that way, who don't like. They're purists. They don't think time acceleration is a legitimate way to fly. Well, the thing is, you know, if they're flying Piper Cubs through the woods and the mountains in the Pacific Northwest, you know, I wouldn't want to go above normal anyway, either myself. But I'm flying a typical flight. This is a low-level flight for me. You know, I'm flying jets, thousands of miles and stuff. I'm not going to sit here for hours and hours and hours at 1x. 16x, frankly, I prefer not to use. 8x is just barely civilized. 4x, I'll do that all the time. I'll fly at 4x in a heartbeat. So we got 11. When we get down to about 700 miles out, I'll go to 8x. And then you've seen other flights. I gradually bring the time acceleration down. But you know, there's some people who just really look down their nose on it. They don't consider guys like me the legitimate pilots. And you know, I think I'm a legitimate pilot. I was a real world pilot. I had 500 hours. I almost got my instrument rating. And the MS monster crept in and took my medical away. But anyway, that's a whole different story. But there are some people that will not fly. I mean, there are guys that will literally not fly 2x. You know, and sometimes for really long flights, they'll sit there for hours. I mean, sorry, but not me. Think what you will. Okay, let's have a look. Back out a little. Whoa, not that much. At 16x, you know, it goes a lot faster, I forget. Okay, there we are. Heading down into Mexico. Whoops. Sorry, I just did a big yawn. And one of the things about being an MSE is you're a little bit spastic. So my arm stretched out, the mouse went flying. All is well now. Yeah, we're 869 miles out. At 700 miles out, I'm going to go to 8x. Come in a little closer here. It's not really showing the mountains that they're circled across. There's where we are. I guess those are mountains. You see, I'm seeing that looks like mountains. Looks like mountains to me. A lot of mountains in Mexico. Mexico is a big place. Let's see if we think we're going to make this trip gas-wise. 3.25 times. What's our endurance? 5.75. Oh yeah. See right there, it's an endure. That's our endurance. This is a nice. This is a nice display. There's endurance. I got 5 hours and 41 minutes worth of gas. We're going to be there in 3 hours and something. So, yeah, we're going to make it easily. I forgot this thing has a good range. That's 1,300 miles. This airplane has close to a 2,000 mile range, I think. We'll keep this in mind for a future trip. Okay, let's see where we are now. 705, 703. Okay, let's go to 2x. We're 700 miles out. Did I say 2x? I meant let's go to 8x. This airplane is so easy to fly. You know, some of you have been along with me on these recent adventures in the Wilco Falcon 7X, and I'm going up and down and, you know, constantly having to mess with my pitch angle. You know, and I'm saying, look at that. Why? How can I be doing that? This thing doesn't do any of that, and most of them don't. But this is a nice, steady, reliable airplane. Now, what kind of speed are we getting now? 227 knots. That's, you know, bread and butter for this airplane. Low to mid 200s. You know, it's not that kind of fast, but it's got long legs. 2,000 mile range, I'd say. I thought 1,300 would be easy to do. I wasn't sure because it's been a while since I've done it. It's been a while since I've given this thing a long flight. And it really hasn't had any really long flights. I got to take it to Australia at some point, out over the Pacific. Go down from Santiago, Chile to Easter Island, and then to Tahiti. And then to Fiji, I think. I got to look at it again and remember the exact sequence. With a 2,000 mile range, you can island hop across the southern Pacific. With less than a 2,000 mile range, you got to go Alaska and the Aleutians, and Kamchatka, and down into Japan. Of course, then there's the middle way, which you need a 2,000 plus mile range for also, and that would be like Hawaii, Wake, Guam, you know, and then whatever you want, the Philippines, Formosa, Taiwan. But you got to have at least a 2,000 mile range to do that route also, if I'm not mistaken. Then there are variations, like south from Hawaii, you can go to, what the hell's that island? Howland Island? No, that's, I'm sorry, I forget. There's an island just southwest, not just southwest, about 1,500 miles or more, southwest of the Hawaiian Island group. And then from there you can go to, like, I don't know, Christmas Island or Kiribati, or I'm spouting names that I haven't been there for a long enough time that I don't exactly remember. So now would probably be a good time for me to just shut up. Okay, where in the hell are we? I didn't think we'd be over water. Well, apparently we are. Oh, I see what we're doing. We're cutting across, and then we'll go down into Guatemala's down here. Okay, I just hadn't thought about how the route was going to go. That makes sense. I'm thinking like going down into southern Mexico, over Mexico City, you know, and like that. That's not what we're doing exactly. That's not what we're doing at all. Whoops, no. I'm trying to shut it off because I just clicked. There we go. Back to squawking VFR. I just clicked something and just put a 1 there. I clicked the 1 button, I guess. Okay. 2 hours and 17. 2 hours at 4x. I think of everything at 4x because I used to fly nothing but 4x all the time. 2 hours at 4x is a half hour. So 2 hours at 8x is 15 minutes. So we've got 15 minutes plus. Anybody still there? You guys haven't all gotten so bored you can't stand this anymore. Everybody doing good back here? Good. As Steve-O would say. This is really annoying. I know damn well that table comes out. And this is reminding me of the TBM. I used to be able to go D2. The way I can, hit the D key and then the 2 key right away. And the secondary door would open. In that case, the passenger door would open. And then suddenly it stopped doing it. So I had to go Shift 6 and click the little box. That might be, well, you don't have that option with this thing. I don't know. still get 237 knots. Ain't bad. Let's see what all these little switches are for. You know, I've not yet flown this thing enough to be really familiar with where everything is and what everything is. So lighting. It's off. Let's turn it on. Wait. Oh, that's okay. That's see up there. Watch. Look where the cursor is. That's what that is. Turns lighting on there. Okay, fine. What's this? What kind of lighting is it? I don't know. Click it on. Something come on? Maybe. Yeah, there's some light. See that it gets a little brighter. Okay, fine. What's this? Anything that's a light, you know, it's not going to hurt anything to turn it on. You don't do this if you're. Don't do this with real world airplanes, though. You know, you don't know what you're flipping. Don't flip it. I remember when my partner Dave and I, my airplane partner, bought our Cessna 150, and we flipped the coin for who was going to fly it first, and I did. And I'm flying back from New Philadelphia, Ohio in it, and I looked down at a little lever. I thought, what's this thing doing? I pulled it out, and then I pushed it back in. Got to Marshall County, where we were from. Well, what it was the parking brake. Christ, it was a good thing I let that go. It would have been a pretty unhappy landing. So, like, you know, don't do that. If you don't know what something does, find out from a, you know, experienced guy that knows what he's talking about. Do as I say, don't do as I do, because everything I do is wrong. Everything I say is a lie. Oh, it's the elevator trim. Well, that is what it is. What are these things? That's covered. It's like the switches that drop the bombs. But we don't have any bombs. Excuse me. I don't know what they are. And they don't say. It's a Carenado mystery. It'll have to remain one. We're still over the water. Hour and 29 minutes out. 355 miles. Okay. Looks like I can see the land. I don't think we're going to go terribly far offshore in any of this. No. There we are. Just going, cutting across a cut there. Then we'll go down into, Guatemala's down about where my mouse pointer is now, I think. This whole area is like a mystery to me. The only part of the world that I'm familiar with is Yucatan. There's Cozumel, the little island right there. And that's, it's escaping me. I know perfectly well. You know what it is too. Cancun. An old school friend of mine lives right down the coast from Cancun with his girlfriend. You can get Google Earth and do Street View, and if you want to, you can ride through the streets of it there or any place else in the world. I've done it. Cancun's a nice city. thought those doors would open. Apparently not. I don't see any little hand to make it. Yeah, there you can make the window come down. Window shade. Not that I want to. When I was a kid, when I flew commercial, which I haven't done in years, and have no wish to do it anymore, you know, I always wanted a window seat. I always wanted to look out. And then I grew up and became a big boy, and later became a pilot, a real world pilot. And then you better be looking at it. What do we got here? I don't know, but it's set for normal. And in airplanes, normal is good. I always like normal. Switch FPS off. Well, it's not hurting anything to be off apparently, so I think I'll just leave it off. Switch. Right. You guys may have found out I'm mostly blind. I'm not really blind, like blind, but for a pilot, I'm freaking blind. I'm gonna have cataract surgery in a couple of weeks, which hopefully will fix all of this. And you know, it's like in the last, I have an eye exam every year, and you know, I go to the guy and I've gotten to know him, nice fellow. And he's, they're slightly worse, but you know, you're still fine, basically. And last April, I had my final one, and I'm like, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yeah, I see a cataract there, but you know, it's not ready to worry about it yet." Well, about 3 weeks after that, my eyesight just fell off the cliff. To where I've been using the Windows magnifier thing, and you know, I went back to his partner because he's on vacation 2 weeks ago, and I said, it's hit the wall. And he examined me again. He said, yeah, it's going way down. He said, all right, we'll go ahead and schedule the cataracts. So apparently, you know, they think I'll have perfect vision after that. I've worn glasses my whole life. He said, you know, yeah, you could get it to where you don't need glasses, but if you keep your glasses, we might adjust the prescription. But with that, plus the result of the cataract surgery, your vision will be even better. So, I mean, I'm thinking I have reason to expect the best vision I've ever had in my life. We will see. $173, we're less than 200 miles out. I think it's time to go to 4X. That was a little unusual. Whatever, it looks fine now. Okay, let's see. We're 25,000. We're 37 minutes out, so it's not time for sending just yet. 28, 27. Okay. Time to go to 2x and start descending. I do mean 2x this time. Okay. Scroll down 20. No, see, it's not doing it. I don't understand that. So I'll go to VS mode. Oh wait, what if I click arm? And now I do it. See it? Did you see it went to arm there? It's still indicating 5500, which is what I want. Now what happens? There, look at that. That's what it needs to do. That's the thing I forgot. Back off the power a little bit. What do we got? 79. 70. See how that is. See, we're almost at red line now. Let's back her down a little bit more. %. That ought to be good. What's our descent rate? Almost 2,000 a minute. We can slow that up a little bit. Yeah, see, that's mellowing it out. 1,000 a minute's fine. Especially, we're 21,000. How many minutes out are we? We're 19 minutes out. Yeah, 1,000 a minute's okay. Now, 5,500 might be a little low. Let's get a terminal briefing and see how high this terrain is. Field elevation might be 5,500 around here. It's probably not, but let's just have a look. Oh, great. Unpaved runway. There it is. 7. Oh, whoa, what? $7,700. Excuse me. 77.10.7. Good viz. Wind is out of the north. 360 at 9. Okay, what are our runways here? 523. So we'll use runway 5. 77.10.7. We'll use runway 5. Scroll up 5. Scroll up 2. 12.5. Just thinking. Some of these areas are really mountainous. All right, runway 5. we'll turn out to 23. Let's adjust the heading bug and get it ready. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. Put it to 2.3. Scroll down 20. Okay. So when we're getting close, that'll start us out on the outbound course. So, because we're going to go for runway 5. The wind's out of the north. So we'll turn to the reciprocal heading, and we'll get out a ways, and then we'll come around and set up a perpendicular, and then line it up with the runway, with the localizer, or what would be their localizer. And we've learned a new technique. We're going to stay in GPS mode so that this green pointer will always be pointing at the airport, at the runway. So when we turn out here and go that way, this thing will start coming around, and when it's pointing to 5, then it's lined up with the runway, and then we'll turn back into nav. We'll be in heading mode. We'll turn back to nav mode, and it'll line us right up with the runway. In theory, we've done this in the TBM a couple of times, and it works much better. Yeah, here we're getting into some mountains now. Let's stay put right here. Click out in, yep, okay. See, when I'm at the altitude, if I click this in, it doesn't go harm. So I think I've got to be either climbing or descending. And now it's not even highlighting. But we're at 15.3, that'll do, that's fine. Let's just stay like that for now. See how far out we are. That I'm not sure I can rely on that or not. I'm going back to the good old Garmin, which I know and trust. 55 miles out, all right. Something we just flew into a very mountainous area. And this is a dinky little airport. I'm glad we beefed up the camping equipment because there's nothing around. You'll be lucky to meet up with a capybara, or a tree sloth, or an anaconda. I don't know if they have an anaconda show. Those are down in Brazil. I wonder what kind of lovely snakes they have around here. Up in these mountains, probably not too many. Christ, it's almost 7,800 feet. Talk about a mile high, it's over a mile high. Maybe we should have brought supplemental oxygen. Now these folks are all in good shape. Okay, let's get out to scroll down to okay, set that in, and see now she starts to descend. Now it's going to go to a standard descent rate. Now if I want to, I can increase that by hitting the down button here. And see the rate of descent is increasing. Now down to 1,000 feet a minute. I don't want to go more than that. Okay, I'm starting to figure this out, I think. So I'm going down to 13.4. And I'm not sure I'm comfortable going lower than that. Right now. It's 1,000 to go. Are we getting down towards 1x proximity? Or 37 miles or less? Close enough. Time to go to 1x. At least it's nice and sunny and clear. 13.4, 13.4, right. They won't have a tower, I can assure you of that. They don't even have a runway. This is an unimproved strip. The amazing thing is they have gas. See, there's ridge after ridge. Till we get over the last ridge, I'm not going to go down anymore. .44. That's still pretty high terrain. Get over this last ridge up there where my pointer is right now. We get past that, well, that's when we'll start turning onto our reciprocal heading, and we'll start descending a little bit too. This kind of stuff is okay, you know, on a nice clear day like this when you can see, you know, with mountains and all that. If you can see, you can, you know, compensate for what you might have done wrong. When you got 2 mile visibility and you're doing this plus mountains, it really gets hairy. You know, constantly in this battle of telling myself, you know, come on, show how much of a man you are. Let's see you do this in really crappy conditions. I don't want to. Sometimes you have to, though. Well, I'm waiting for this the terrain to not be so dark. Well, let's look out a little more. Oh, forget it. That ain't happening. All right. See over there to the right, it drops off. So when am I going to turn reset? 26 miles, not yet. I say like when we're 19 or 18 miles out. It's not like the Alps. I mean, you know, you don't have any craggy peaks here. You don't have anything like the Matterhorn. South America is like this too. It's all, you know, gentle rolling hills that might be 10,000 feet high. Chile is like that. A lot of very hilly country. A lot of deep fjord cuts in from the Pacific. South Island, New Zealand is like that too. you'll have what, from a height it looks like just big rolling hills, and you get closer and you realize, yeah, they're rolling hills, but they're 5,000 feet high. Some areas down here in Central America, it looks like rolling pasture land. It is, but it's at 20,000 feet. But that it's at least not quite as dangerous flying in those kind of conditions. It's no picnic though when you're that high, no matter what. Just trying to think, how close do I want to get here? We'll do it now, but we're going to bring the heading back up a little bit. Scroll down 20. Scroll down 10. Okay, we'll see what that does. We watch that needle is going to be migrating around to the left. And we want it to be pointing at 05034. Right there. At that moment, we will go back to nav mode because we'll be lined up with the runway heading, whatever freaking runway there is. Let's see what kind of runway they think they have. Probably grass. I hate these unimproved airports. Dirt. Wonderful. 77, 79. Okay, the wind is spot north, 360 at 0. Well, that's calm. Well, we probably could have gone in on 2-3, but we'll take a look at that. I don't know. We've got a plan. I'd rather stay with it. Okay, let's see. Right now, it almost doesn't matter. Let's stay with runway 5. Okay, right now the needle's on south. Crystal clear visibility. Oh, okay, the needle's going to move as we reset the heading, so we got to keep that in mind. 15 miles out. Let's turn more recip. I don't want to get any closer until we're set up better. Scroll up 20. Okay, let's see. Scroll up 10. That's almost perpendicular. That's almost reciprocal. Yeah, we'll stay like that until we get a little farther away. And then we'll turn perpendicular. To 320. You got to work these things out in your head. Do we dare descend? You know, our top of descent toward final approach course is 7,700. No, it's 10,700. No, we stay here, that's right. The field elevation is 7,700. So our top of descent is 10,700. And we're only 3,000 feet above that right now. With all this stuff around, I'm just going to stay just like this. See, this is really weird. Look at that. That's down to sea level. It's dropping off fast. Let's get this so that I can visualize it. Scroll down 45. How do I want it? I want it pointing. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. I want to point at 5. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. That's just about right. Okay. So this will show me where perp is. Perpendicular. Once I've turned onto that, then I'll go back to GPS mode until the needle lines up. 19 miles out, it's time to turn perpendicular. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. Scroll down 45. You think that would be 45 and 45. Oh, it did it. I'm wrong. Scroll up 45. Scroll up 45. Scroll down 10. Scroll down 10. Okay, that's a good perpendicular. Now we'll go to GPS mode. And when this needle is pointing to 5, it's at 10 now. Then we'll go back to nav mode. Okay, time to think about descending. How does the terrain look? Boy. We'll go down 1. 12, then we only need to go down 2 more. Scroll down. Scroll down. 27. We're getting there. At what distance are we? Preferably above 15 miles. 16 miles away. That'll do. Okay. Approaching 12.4. What do I feel like here? I feel like not doing anything just yet. Sure you don't want to get down another 1,000? Oh God. Alright, I suppose so. Scroll down. See, the little arm thing went off. So click back in. Or can I make it? I can't make it come on. What will happen if I do this? Why doesn't it like that? No, what's that? I'm at 12. Oh, now look. Look what it just did. It came back on. The arm thing is on, and it's descending at a relatively modest rate. I'll keep that. Not quite. We'll get that last 1,000 feet of descent when we turn onto our final course. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. Got it. Nav it up. In fact, that's more than got it. That'll do, though. That's close enough. 5. We're actually approaching 040. We're actually only 700 feet above the beginning top of descent anyway. Scroll down 5. 10.9, that'll do. Go to there. Go to there. Boy, that would have been nice to avoid. I see what it's doing. All right. Just follow that red line, Louis. Jeez. I hope we come around the corner before we... Looks like we will. Start descending. Oh boy, we're turning in. Man, that's kind of close. Scroll down to Scroll down. Gear down. Watch your flaps. Verify that it's doing all that. Looks good. Okay, full flaps were too fast. Slow her down. Mention a little more descent. Which descent you got in? Not nearly enough. Where is the... Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Mouse control. Autopilot off. Steady her out. See, it's not much of a runway, but this is a freaking city. There's not going to be much camping required here. Speed's a little low. Put a little more power back in. Flight idle. Flight idle. Nose down. Flight idle. Okay. Well, this will do. We can see the runway. Just get her down. Get her down. I've never landed this thing with a mouse joystick.
500.
Shut up. Come on, turn on, turn in. That's it, that's it. It's better, it's better, it's better, it's better. Nose up. That's the typical thing it does. I just really got to get better with this mouse joystick. Could have been worse. Could have been better. I just, with the joystick it would have been beautiful. But I'm training myself, I'm trying to use this mouse joystick because I'm afraid I'm going to lose the use of my right arm sooner or later, to the point where I can't put it onto the joystick, which it's on the right side. So that's why I keep doing this. All right, flaps up. Let's go up the runway. Let's see if they'll let us camp. Or better still, see if there's a Best Western nearby or a nice hotel. where we can get cocktails and dinner. That would be much preferable, where there aren't so many snakes wandering around. You know, I always told my wife, my idea of roughing it is twin beds at the Holiday Inn. I was never a big camper. Come on. Qu'est-ce que c'est le problème? Let's go. Full power. Trying her out of the mud. There we go. Flight item. Trading in. Okay. A nice spot off the beaten path here. Okay. And hopefully we will pull the parking brake. And the flight will end like it should. Let's get out of this. Mouse joystick off. And the Flightline flight did acknowledge us at this airport and ended normally, so all is well there, unlike some others I could tell you about. And we'll shut the engine off. You don't have to worry about the starters, if I remember this right. She'll just shut down. Looks like beautiful country. We're at almost 7,800 feet up. Those people have well-developed lungs, I can tell you that. Okay. Lights off. And batteries off. Right. That's that. Okay, great flight. I hope it didn't bore you to tears. I can't imagine that it didn't, but if you're still here, good for you. Thanks a lot for coming. I don't know where we're going from here. I got a hunch we're going to sit here and enjoy the Guatemalan food for a day or two or three or 20 or something, but eventually wend our way down into South America, where I have a feeling the TBM is going to be also. It's already at Barbados, and I think it's pointed south too. So we'll see. But other than that, thanks for coming along. It was a great flight. I've really got to get better with that mouse joystick, or just get back to using the regular joystick while I still can, because these landings just in short final just really look stupid. The airplane's all over the place. And that's not necessary. I mean, I've got the runway in sight and everything, you know. I'm a better pilot than that, believe me. You haven't seen it, but I am. Someday you'll see it. Okay, well, great flight, and we'll catch you later.